Hi, I'm Dr. Deborah Manjoney of Wisconsin Vein Center and MediSpa, and today I'd like to talk to you about sunscreen. We have a variety of sunscreens as you see here, and so it's important to read the label to know what you're getting. The important thing to know about sunscreen is SPF is not enough just to know what the sun protection factor is. SPF means that you have a certain amount of ultraviolet B rays, the rays that tan and burn, being filtered out by the sunscreen. And SPF is very important, and we think that you need an SPF of at least 30 on a daily basis for it to be effective. Now, in order to make sure you're having ultraviolet A protection, which is those rays that penetrate more deeply and can cause wrinkles in time, you need to have something that says broad spectrum coverage. When it says broad spectrum, it means it's got both ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B coverage. Now, in addition, you're going to be looking for whether or not a sunscreen is water resistant. If it says water resistant, that can give you the assurity that after 40 minutes of being in a pool or sweating, that sunscreen is still working. If it says very water resistant, then that means you have protection for up to 80 minutes of being wet or sweating out in the sun, and it still will work. The important thing to remember, though, is that sunscreens need to be reapplied at least every 2 hours when you're outside, because the protection won't go on further than that just because of your natural sweating that occurs. In addition, now sunscreens, many of them have tint in them, and the tint is very helpful because as you apply it, you can see where it's going on the face. In addition, it's great for summertime because often that's all you need is a makeup. You can put on the sunscreen and just go on with your daily life if it's tinted. It's also very good to use as a primer. So if you still want to put makeup over the sunscreen, you can do it, but the tint just helps you see where everything's been applied. Now, finally, I do want to talk about physical versus chemical sunscreens. A physical sunscreen uses both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide as a protection for you. Gives you both ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B protection. That's especially helpful for babies or for any people with sensitive skin or people who want to avoid chemicals. Now, the chemical sunscreens work differently. The physical ones actually deflect the rays of sun because of the zinc and titanium, whereas a chemical sunscreen will absorb the rays. Both of them work very well. Both of them can be broad spectrum, but you really have to read the labels to determine which one you want to use. So the important things, again, to remember about sunscreens, there are a lot of things that the labels tell you now. Look for broad spectrum, an SPF of at least 30. Make sure you reapply, and you can choose whether or not you want a physical or a chemical block and whether or not you want to tint. Just remember, reapply every 2 hours when you're out in the sun.